watch a stage play, the actors just, they make everything look so incredibly effortless, you know?
Oh, absolutely.
They hit their marks, they deliver their lines with like perfect timing, and the story just flows. But behind that smooth performance, I mean, it isn't just a script, it's a highly engineered mechanism for managing chaos.
Right, because everyone knows their cues.
Exactly, which means nobody is left standing under the spotlight wondering what on earth to do next.
Well, and that underlying structure is actually, it's a defense against anxiety.
Yeah.
Because without those pre-agreed cues, you really don't have a play. You just have, like, a bunch of people bumping into each other on a stage.
Just panicking.
Right, acting purely on instinct, which, in my experience, almost always leads to a massive breakdown in communication.
And I think that concept of managing chaos through structure brings us perfectly to what we're exploring today. So welcome back, everyone. You are tuning into a brand new video right here on our YouTube channel, the Biz English Channel.
Thrilled to be here, as always.
We're so glad to have you. And hey, before we jump into things, if you're watching this on YouTube, please do us a huge favor. Hit that subscribe button, leave a like on the video, and, get ready to share your opinions in the comment section below.
Yes, definitely do that.
Because your engagement really helps the channel grow, and we honestly read every single comment.
And you will definitely want to weigh in today, I think. Because we are looking at something that, well, it dictates the success or failure of literally every single professional out there.
It really does.
We are unpacking the hidden scripts of workplace communication.
Right. And we're going way beyond just, learning the right corporate vocabulary.
Yeah.
The mission today is to decode the underlying psychology of the modern office.
Which is fascinating.
It is. From the mechanics of making the perfect first impression all the way to the power dynamics of a negotiation and even the emotional containment you need during a job dismissal.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
It is. Because every workplace interaction is essentially an exercise in establishing psychological safety and mitigating risk.
And that is the core thesis we really need to keep in mind today, because most people just focus on what to say.
Right. Just give me the line.
Exactly. But the truly effective communicators, they understand why they are saying it. Like, why does a specific phrase de-escalate an argument, while another, seemingly identical phrase triggers this massive defensive reflex?
It's crazy how that works.
It really comes down to understanding the unwritten rules of human behavior in a corporate setting.
So let's start with what I think is the most anxiety-inducing phase for anyone, which is onboarding and first impressions.
Oh, absolutely terrifying.
Right. I always compare starting at a new company to being dropped into a foreign country.
Yeah.
Like, you don't speak the local dialect, you don't know the layout of the city.
You don't even know where the bathrooms are.
Exactly. And you are just desperately looking for a local guide to help you navigate the local customs so you don't accidentally, deeply offend someone.
Yeah, that's a really great analogy.
So how exactly does a new professional build that safety net without looking, well, desperate?
So it happens through these highly strategic, almost ritualistic introductory interactions. Think about the classic cross-departmental introduction.
Okay, set the scene for me.
Let's say a new hire in the marketing department, someone who handles ad campaigns, is introduced to a 20-year veteran in the accounting department.
Sounds intimidating.
It is. And the unwritten script here isn't just about saying, "Hi, I'm John, nice to meet you." The accounting person might casually mention that, tracking finances is the lifeblood of the company.
Right.
And the marketing person needs to validate that. They might say, "Absolutely, and our targeted advertising is designed to help generate those finances for you to track."
Okay, I see the logic there, and I have to push back a little here.
Sure.
Isn't that just like corporate sycophancy? I mean, it just sounds like two people flattering each other's egos to be polite.
Well, I mean, it definitely looks like flattery on the surface. But mechanically, it's a mutual non-aggression pact.
A non-aggression pact. Wow.
Yeah, because when you're new, you represent an unknown variable. You are a potential threat to the established order of the office.
Oh, I see.
So by verbally validating the accounting department's value, the new marketing hire is neutralizing that threat. You're aligning your status with theirs.
You're basically saying, I recognize your territory and I promise I'm not here to disrupt it.
Exactly that.
That actually makes the whole ritual of networking make so much more sense to me now, because that exact same validation dynamic plays out at big industry conferences, right?
Constantly.
Like, people don't go to those things just to sit and listen to keynote speakers.
No, not at all.
They go to solidify those non-aggression pacts and alliances across the entire industry. And they do it by, and this always cracked me up, by exchanging physical business
Right,
cards.
the classic business card exchange.
Yeah. Like, in an era where I can literally instantly beam my contact info to your phone from across the room, handing over a tiny piece of paper just feels so archaic to me.
It does feel a bit old school, but the business card isn't actually about data transfer.
It's not.
No, it is a physical artifact of a psychological contract.
Yeah.
Giving someone a tangible item triggers the psychological principle of reciprocity.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so when you hand them that card, it creates a very subtle, subconscious obligation in their brain to maintain that connection.
That is wild. Speaking of subtle obligations, the scenarios we're looking at today also highlight the classic new employee lunch break.
Yes, the lunch break is crucial.
It's so specific, too, like
Yeah.
making a point to ask colleagues about nearby cafes, but specifically asking about places with diverse options, like mentioning both sandwich shops and places with vegan menus.
Right.
On the surface, I mean, that sounds totally trivial. Why does lunch matter that much?
Well, because it is a low-stakes vulnerability exercise.
Okay, unpack that for me.
Sure. Asking for recommendations allows the veteran employee to play the role of the protector or the guide, and that satisfies their evolutionary psychological need for status.
Ah, so you're giving them an easy win.
Exactly. And furthermore, asking about diverse options like vegan food, even if you yourself are not a vegan, that demonstrates incredibly high situational awareness.
Wait, really? Even if you're just going to order a turkey sandwich?
Yes, because it signals to your new team that you are observant and considerate of different needs, which rapidly accelerates your assimilation into the company culture.
Assimilation really is the goal at that stage. Like, you were just trying to figure out the company's behavioral boundaries, right?
Exactly. You're observing everything.
Like, are we a casual dress code office where comfort boosts morale?
Mhm.
Or do we actually enforce that strict 2-day remote work policy, or is it just a suggestion?
Right. You have to read the room. And crucially, you have to figure out how the company invests in its people.
Which means asking the right questions.
Yes. That last point is vital. During those initial few weeks, a savvy new employee will actively ask about comprehensive training programs, like, say, leadership training,
Even if they just got hired.
especially then.
Mm-hmm.
Because expressing a desire to enroll in those programs signals that you view the job as a long-term investment, not just a stepping stone.
It tells your colleagues that the effort they put into training you won't just walk out the door in 6 months.
Exactly. It builds trust instantly.
Okay, so you survived the onboarding phase, you've established your alliances, you understand the remote policy, but then the honeymoon phase abruptly ends and your calendar just gets swallowed whole by the daily grind.
Ah, yes. Collaboration and meeting culture.
Right. And here is where I personally really struggle, because it often feels like the modern workplace is just this endless cycle of performative meetings.
A lot of people feel that way, honestly.
I mean, people scheduling massive hour-long international conference calls, and it feels like they only do it just to prove to upper management that they are busy.
Well, it feels performative because very often it is.
Thank you. I knew it wasn't just me.
No, it's a real phenomenon. Because when meetings lack a rigid structural script, human nature just takes over.
What do you mean by that?
Without a strict agenda, a meeting almost inevitably devolves into a dominance battle where participants just, posture for status. Or they fall victim to Parkinson's law.
Remind me what Parkinson's law is again?
It's the adage that work expands so as to fill the time allotted for its completion. If you schedule an hour, people will talk in circles for an hour.
Yes, I've lived that so many times.
So the structural script is literally the only defense against that wasted time.
Okay, break down that structural defense for me, because the logistics of scheduling seem pretty basic on the surface, don't they?
They seem basic, but those logistics are the boundaries of your psychological sandbox.
Okay, I like that. Sandbox boundaries.
Right. So say you're moving a meeting seamlessly from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. to accommodate a schedule conflict. You explicitly book the conference room, and you specifically ensure that the design team is invited.
Right, pretty standard admin stuff.
But they aren't just administrative tasks. By stating clearly in the invite exactly why the design team's input is required for the initial steps, You are preventing the bystander effect.
Oh, because everyone knows exactly why they're in the room.
Exactly.
Right.
You are assigning explicit responsibility, so nobody can just hide in the back of the room and check their phone.
Wow, that puts a totally new spin on pre-meeting prep. Like sending out an agenda before the weekend that includes the budget, the timeline, and a specific section for client feedback.
It's not just about being organized.
It's psychological anchoring.
Yes, exactly.
You were setting the parameters of the debate before anyone even steps foot into the room. I mean, you even print physical copies of the report because you have a tight 20-minute presentation and a 10-minute Q&A.
Right.
And fumbling with a projector in front of everyone just breaks your authority.
And authority is incredibly fragile,
No.
especially in really high-stakes environments like big international conference calls.
Oh, for sure.
Imagine you have a 60-minute window to align teams in London and Tokyo on a new budget and a marketing plan. The script absolutely mandates a tech check,
Like logging in early.
logging in at least 10 minutes early to ensure the microphones and cameras are flawless.
I mean, I get that, but I have to ask, does a 5-minute audio glitch really derail a whole project?
It destroys the halo effect.
The halo effect.
It's a cognitive bias where our overall impression of a person influences how we feel about their specific character traits.
Oh, okay.
So if you cannot manage your own microphone, the subconscious bias of those Tokyo and London teams will automatically assume you cannot manage a multi-million-dollar budget.
That is brutal.
Yeah.
But it makes sense. A technical hiccup just drains your credibility instantly.
Completely.
Wow, the stakes are so much higher than just being an annoyance. And speaking of annoyance, I want to take a quick time out right here. Yes, you listening and watching right now, I want you to pause this video, go down to the comments section, and answer this question for me. What is your absolute biggest pet peeve during a conference call?
Oh, this is going to be good.
I want to know. Is it the person chewing loudly while unmuted, the endless tech failures we just talked about, or, the classic meeting that clearly should have been an email? Pause the video, drop a comment below, and while you're down there, make sure you're subscribed to the Biz English Channel.
I will definitely be fascinated to read those comments. Because honestly, when communication breaks down in real time on those calls, professionals often just retreat to written communication anyway.
Which has its own minefield of rules.
Oh, absolutely. Email etiquette has a very rigid script, and it's specifically designed to remove emotion from volatile situations.
Like the dreaded bad news email. Let's say you have to inform a supplier about a delayed shipment that was due on the 5th.
The linguistic framing here is critical. The script requires you to strip away all accusatory language.
No pointing fingers.
None. You start with a polite greeting, you clearly state the purpose without any adjectives, and you just present the facts, like, we have not received the shipment due on the 5th.
See, this is where I see people fail all the time. Like, they get frustrated, they want to use all caps, or they use active voice to assign blame.
Like, you delayed the shipment.
Exactly. But from what we are analyzing, the professional script leans entirely on the passive voice or just really objective statements to preserve the relationship.
Exactly that. You state the business impact completely objectively. This delay is impacting our production schedule.
Right. You aren't saying you are ruining our quarter and making me look bad.
Exactly. You are simply stating a factual consequence. And that applies immense pressure without triggering the supplier's defensive fight-or-flight response.
But eventually, you can't always hide behind a screen. The dynamic shifts, resources become scarce, and the script flips from collaboration to, well, self-preservation.
Yes, we move into the realm of conflict and negotiation.
Right. So let's look at client negotiations. Say a client demands a lower price. A lot of people treat negotiation like a dance, right? Where you just step toward each other and meet in the middle.
That's the common perception, yeah.
But I actually think it's more like dancing with a partner where you have to hold your ground. Wait, no, better analogy. It's like building a suspension bridge.
A suspension bridge? Okay, I'm listening.
You have to anchor your side deeply in your firm's quality standards. You can stretch across the gap to meet their budget, but if your anchor moves if you compromise your quality, the whole bridge just collapses into resentment.
That is a brilliant way to visualize it. I love that.
Thanks.
Because if your anchor is quality, your immediate response to a price reduction demand should never be a defensive no, which, to use your analogy, burns the bridge entirely.
Right.
But it also shouldn't be an immediate yes, which pulls up your anchor. The first script is actually just information gathering. You seek to understand their actual budget parameters first.
And once you have that number, You adjust the scope of the project, not the standard of the work.
Precisely. You offer a smaller package of services, or you suggest a longer contract term to offset the immediate cost for them.
You're finding a structural middle ground.
Yes, you emphasize the value you bring, and you hold firm on that quality anchor. And, if the gap is simply too wide, the professional script is to respectfully pause the negotiation.
Just walk away.
Well, suggest revisiting the discussion in a few months. You leave the bridge intact for the future without devaluing your product today.
That makes a lot of sense for external threats. But what happens when the conflict is, inside the house?
Internal conflict is tricky.
Let's say a manager has two team members who are actively arguing over workload distribution. How does the manager intervene without just throwing gasoline on the fire?
So the most common mistake managers make here is immediate joint escalation.
Pulling them both into a room.
Yes. Pulling both angry parties into a conference room to just hash it out. When humans are in conflict, bringing them together immediately creates an echo chamber for their fight or flight responses.
Oh, because they're just feeding off each other's anger.
Exactly. The required script here is triangulation through individual meetings.
You isolate them to de-escalate the amygdala?
Yes. You meet with them individually in a vacuum. You just listen to their perspectives on the workload without judgment.
Just let them vent.
Exactly. And only after you have allowed that emotional energy to dissipate and you have a really clear, objective picture of the facts, only then do you schedule a joint discussion.
And at that point, you aren't playing referee anymore.
No, your role changes. You are a mediator finding a fair solution to maintain team harmony.
That makes perfect sense for manageable conflict. But what about when the situation is basically beyond repair?
You mean delivering the ultimate bad news?
Job dismissals. How do you script ending someone's livelihood? It's so heavy.
It really is. It is the most emotionally taxing conversation in business, which is exactly why strict adherence to the script is non-negotiable.
You can't wing it.
No. The script provides emotional containment for both parties. If an employee is being let go for failing to meet expectations after multiple warnings, the language must be absolute and final.
Because any hesitation or, softening of the language just provides false hope, which is actually really cruel in the long run.
It is. It draws out the pain. When they inevitably ask for another chance, the manager must clearly state that the company hasn't seen the required progress and employment ends today.
Wow. Very direct.
However, the script also dictates structural compassion.
What does that look like?
You immediately pivot to how the company will support their transition, like providing a severance package and active job search assistance for the next month.
And that same structural compassion applies during massive company restructuring, right?
Right.
Say management has to reduce a department by 10% based on performance evaluations just to ensure company growth.
Right, which deeply fractures team morale.
It's devastating for everyone involved.
It really is. But offering generous severance and job assistance to the 10% who are leaving, it isn't just about doing the right thing for them, although that's important.
Right.
It is a vital psychological signal to the 90% who stay.
Survivor psychology.
Yes. The remaining employees are watching very closely to see how the company treats its most vulnerable people.
Oh.
If the dismissals are handled callously, the survivors will lose all trust in leadership and their productivity will just plummet.
But if it is handled with dignity, the survivors feel safe.
Exactly. They know they won't be thrown to the wolves if things get tough.
That's a huge insight. And speaking of those who survive and thrive, if you, watching right now, are finding this breakdown of workplace psychology valuable, remember to subscribe to the Biz English channel so you never miss an upload.
Definitely do that.
So that actually brings us to our final pivot today. We've analyzed how to manage relationships with clients, with difficult coworkers, and with vulnerable employees. But the hardest person to manage in the office is yourself. Oh, undeniably.
So let's talk about personal productivity and feedback. And I will confess a massive personal flaw right now.
Okay, let's hear it.
I am a chronic multitasker. I will be listening to someone outline project milestones on a call while actively trying to draft an email to a completely different client.
A lot of us do that.
I tell myself I am being super efficient, but I usually end up dropping the ball on both tasks. How do we break this habit in a culture that basically demands constant availability?
We break it by accepting the neurobiological reality that multitasking does not exist.
Wait, really? It doesn't exist at all?
It doesn't. What you are actually doing is rapid context switching.
Okay, what does that mean for my brain?
Every time you switch from the audio of the call to the text of the email, Your brain actively burns cognitive glucose.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this is why multitasking drastically reduces the quality of your work and leaves you feeling completely exhausted by 3 p.m. That explains so much. So the script for personal productivity has to be built around like artificial scarcity of attention, like the Pomodoro technique.
The Pomodoro technique is incredibly effective for this, yes.
You work in highly focused intervals, right?
Typically 25 minutes of pure, uninterrupted focus. And that's followed by a short break. You force yourself to prioritize tasks, you tackle the heavy cognitive loads first, and you build in buffer time for unexpected crises.
It's basically about setting boundaries with your own brain and, checking your inbox at designated times rather than just living inside of it all day.
Exactly. And that discipline ties directly into goal setting.
Setting objectives for the quarter requires very specific, tangible milestones. But I think the most interesting part of the script we're exploring is sharing those goals with a mentor. Why do you need to externalize it?
Because human willpower is a depleting resource. It runs out.
Okay.
Sharing specific milestones with a mentor creates real accountability. You are basically externalizing your willpower.
So if you stumble, they catch you.
Right. If you fall behind, that mentor helps you adjust your plan. They ensure you don't just abandon the long-term goal just because one short-term milestone was missed.
So you manage your time, you hit your goals, and eventually, if you're good, you graduate to reviewing someone else's work.
Which is its own unique challenge.
Giving and receiving feedback is a total minefield. Let's look at the classic scenario of reviewing an intern's report.
Okay, good example.
If the report is well-structured but totally lacks detail, the immediate instinct is to just say, hey, this needs more detail.
Which seems helpful, but doing so triggers that exact same threat detection system we discussed earlier.
The intern just gets defensive and stops learning.
Exactly. The professional feedback script relies on leading with the positive. It's often called the sandwich method, but it's really just about circumventing the amygdala hijack.
So you start by validating them. Like, your report structure is really excellent. You establish that safety first.
Yes, once safety is established, you introduce the constructive pivot. It would be beneficial to include more analysis.
But the script demands you provide specific, actionable examples, right? You don't just leave them guessing what more analysis means.
No, never.
You ask them to integrate more statistics and market trends. You suggest incorporating visual charts and graphs to make the data engaging. And crucially, you explain why, because visuals enhance the client's understanding.
And by explaining the why, you transform a simple critique of their work into a literal masterclass on business strategy. You encourage questions and keep your door open for guidance.
That's a great way to mentor. And if you are the one receiving that feedback, your script is to acknowledge it without defensiveness.
Yes, very important.
You ask for specific examples if the manager forgot to provide them, and you express genuine enthusiasm for delivering the revised version, because that behavior signals immense adaptability.
And adaptability feels like the ultimate meta script, doesn't it?
It really does. It's the ability to rewrite the rules when the situation changes, which is why, in a job interview, highlighting your adaptability is really the ultimate trump card.
Because it answers the hiring manager's deepest unspoken fear.
Which is what?
What will this person do when everything goes wrong?
Will they panic or will they adapt?
Right. When they ask how you handle tight deadlines, you explain your prioritization systems. When they ask about teamwork, you highlight how you navigate open communication.
You are proving that you don't just possess the technical skills, you possess the behavioral scripts to survive their specific corporate ecosystem.
It all connects back to the beginning, doesn't it?
It really does. The way you validate a new colleague, the way you carefully frame a bad news email, the way you anchor a negotiation, and the way you process a critique, it's all one cohesive system.
Which leaves us with a final thought for the listener to really unpack on their own.
Let's hear it.
Every single interaction we've explored today, whether it's chatting about vegan cafes, navigating a tense budget dispute, or surviving a massive restructuring, is quietly compounding.
Adding up over time.
Yes. These scripts are constantly building your personal professional brand. People are always observing how you manage anxiety and chaos.
Wow.
So the question you really have to ask yourself tomorrow morning is, are the behavioral scripts you use every day telling the story you actually want your industry to hear?
Are your scripts telling the right story? That reframes the entire workday for me. Because at the end of the day, we are all actors on that corporate stage, and understanding the mechanics behind the performance is the only way to write your own ending.
Beautifully said.
Thank you all so much for joining us for this analysis on the Biz English Channel. If this breakdown helped you see your workplace in a new light, please make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an upload.
And leave a comment.
Yes, give this video a like and keep the conversation going in the comments section. We really want to hear your thoughts on personal branding and which scripts you rely on the most. Until next time, keep analyzing the room, keep adapting, and we'll see you in the next one.